Welcome to the show, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm super excited. We're talking full preview NFL Week 12, including the Thursday games here. Now, if you are new to the show, make sure you guys do subscribe. I've got Tim, the bald guy. He's back. Tim, what's going on?
I'm here. I'm on cam. I'm always here, just not always on cam. So I'm here, baby.
Yeah, Tim does a lot of stuff in the background on the brand, so I'm really excited that he's back on this show doing full NFL Week 12 preview. Now, we are going to go over the three matchups that could be sleepers here on Gobble Gobble Day, but after we're done that, we're going to get into Sunday's game. So if you're listening to this on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday morning, just fast forward past the first 10, 15 minutes. But if you are listening to it in the morning on your commute, well, I don't think a lot of people are working today, are they, Tim? It's Thanksgiving.
That's right. You better not be.
Yeah, so rise and grind, guys. We got an exciting episode. We're going to talk about fantasy football, some injuries, the spreads, and some predictions on who we think is going to win the matchups, and do a full deep dive. Now, Tim, before we get into that, we are giving away the signed, I don't know if you guys see it behind me, but a signed, beautiful speed helmet. It is Stefon Diggs, guys. Stefon Diggs, the Buffalo Bills, Stefon Diggs. Signed speed helmet, compliments of Pristine Auction. To enter, go to pristineauction.com. Use code SWAGLION. Now, Tim, you cannot enter in these draws since you're part of the show, unfortunately.
Damn, dude. Diggs? I want Diggs.
So pristineauction.com, code SWAGLION, and finally manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. Christmas is around the corner. Now, Tim, I've been using the shower gel, the body wash, and the hair, shampoo and conditioner. Amazing product. I smell like amazing. It smells amazing.
You might smell okay, but nobody would know anything about your hair with your hat on all the time.
Exactly. So, head on over there, guys, manscaped.com, shower line. All right, let's dive into this. The three matchups here. And there's one thing about these matchups, Tim. All these guys in these matchups for Turkey Day are all losers last week. They all lost.
And you know what, though? Buffalo shouldn't have. Like, what the hell happened to Buffalo? That was just disgusting.
And we got to talk about that. We're going to talk about, are they falling off? Was it a bit of a fluke game? Like, what happened? They were at home. They lost 41-15 to the Colts. So we're going to talk about that. But let's talk about the first matchup here. Let's break it down. We're talking Bears-Lions. Bears are on the road here, and they've been relatively inconsistent with Nagy and that whole offense been consistent. Montgomery was hurt. Now he's back. Quarterback changes, quarterback injuries. Andy Dalton's going to play. Again, this is a Thursday Gobble Gobble Day, Thanksgiving. We're supposed to be excited in our hearts, but 3-7 Bears versus at home Lions 0-9-1. Bears 3-point favorite on the road. I'm not excited about this game, Tim. I don't want to spend too much time on this.
Dude, I've looked over all the games for this week. I'm not impressed with a lot of them, to be honest with you. I hate to be such a downer, but oh my God, this week just sucks ass.
Yeah, I mean, 41.5 points the over-under. I would assume that it's such a low over-under. They should go over that. But again, these guys got to score points, and it's not going to happen a lot. So, I mean, just Montgomery, Hawkinson's got to get going. Hawkinson's been used more of a blocker this year. Big disappointment in fantasy, not performing where he should be. It's just,
he was decent earlier in the year, and I think he's kind of fallen off, right? So everybody's like, oh, what the hell? I mean, you could look at DeAndre a little bit, but there's nobody exciting on either team here.
Believe it or not, Hawkins is actually fifth amongst tight ends right now in fantasy points. But again, it was based on, I think, a bunch of inflated games. He's been safe. Bad weeks through 3 to week 5, bad weeks. And then again, he's been relatively consistent. Week 10, I'm not sure what happened there. I don't think he played. He's just not performing where, we thought more expectations out of Detroit players, period. Not happening.
Yeah. Especially him. He's their guy. He's their go-to receiver, I would say, at this point, and he's just not getting anything.
Yeah, so again, enjoy the game. It's something to watch. Most people will probably be hungover anyway, but try to enjoy it. Second matchup here. This one I'm looking forward to. Vegas Raiders versus the Cowboys. Cowboys at home, coming off a tough loss. I think it was against the Chiefs. And Raiders, I believe they lost to Cincinnati last week. Derek Carr came off, started the season off, MVP type caliber play. Now he's lost 3 in a row. So
just falling off.
I don't know. Who do you have first of all, who do you have in the first game? We didn't go back and say, I'm going to say,
we got to pick one of those guys.
Yeah, let's pick one.
God, give me Detroit.
Yeah,
by the slightest of margins.
Detroit at home. Maybe they pull one out. They're due, right? They're 0-9, so they might pull one out. I'm going Detroit.
You're due, baby.
Pick your poison. And then we got this matchup again. Dallas again. They lost last week, and so did the Raiders. Raiders desperate for a win here, losing to Bengals 32-13. And the Cowboys didn't have the greatest game as well. So Dallas losing 19, they lost 19-9 to the Chiefs. And now they're at home and they're the 7.5 point favorite, which I think is high. I'm almost tempted to take the Raiders on the spread there to cover
Yeah.
that. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go Dallas at home here.
Yeah, I agree too. But yeah, that 7.5 is definitely way too high for my likings. I would say it's going to be a 3-4 point game at best.
Yeah, for two relatively evenly, ranked teams, 5-5, Raiders versus 7-3 Cowboys. I mean, they've got Amari Cooper hurt. Derek Carr, again, just didn't have the best game last week. So looking for both these teams looking to bounce back. So it should make for an exciting 4 o'clock game as you're preparing for your turkeys, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be a horrible game. It's just the two teams that haven't really been producing lately.
No, definitely not. And then we've got the Thursday nighter here, 8:20 p.m. game. And it's again the Bills versus on the road against the Saints. Saints at home. We've got Trevor Siemian starting their 5-5 or 6-4 Bills. Do you think there's a cause to be concerned here with the Bills losing
No.
last week?
We should be excited about this game. This game should be like amazing. We should be talking about Buffalo in general. I mean, they've got so many good weapons right now, but then we should be talking about Kamara with New Orleans, and we're not. It's not happening. So this
Well,
game,
Kamara's out this week. It just got
yeah,
announced.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not happening. We're not talking about it. It's still going to be a pretty good game, I think. Buffalo's going to bounce back. Last week was an anomaly. Nothing pointed to Taylor flaming them the way he did. He just tore them apart.
Yeah. So, who's Taylor Wu?
What? Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah. What am I thinking here? I'm trying to blank. For some reason, I was thinking quarterback. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. What is it? 5?
He flamed the Bills. Yeah, he destroyed them, and the Bills should not have given up that much to him.
Yeah. I was just thinking for some reason I had quarterbacks in my head. I was just thinking Carson Wentz, but he doesn't. Carson Wentz is he's riding the coattails of Jonathan Taylor, man.
Whatever it takes, right? Sometimes you could say the same thing with Tannehill and Henry, although he's kind of proven that wrong a little bit this year.
Yeah. All right. So those are.
Anyways, who do we got in this game? Obviously Buffalo.
Not obvious, but
obviously Buffalo.
They're a 6-point favorite. I'm gonna go Buffalo. They got to bounce back.
Yeah, there was no reason why they lost last week, and I bet you they're all pissed off.
All right, let's move on here. Sunday games. Man, this is terrible. There's so many terrible games.
The only note I put on this first game, the Jets at Texans, is pass. Yeah. Meaning just fucking pass. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, so like Zach Wilson, he's back now, and Elijah Moore has been stepping up at wide receiver, but that was only predicated on the other quarterbacks throwing to him. Tyrod Taylor, and both these teams have relatively good matchups against the secondary, and surprisingly, Houston pulled it out of their 2-8. They pulled it out of their ass. Like I can't. That was like the upset special of the week last week. So Houston beating one of the hottest teams in football. Houston beating Tennessee last week. And if you're a betting man, it's like, man, like I was all over Tennessee, Unbelievable.
Yeah. Tennessee's been getting it done even without Derrick Henry, which you would not have said like a year ago.
Yeah, and they lose to Houston.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So with this one, again, pick your poison. Like it's 44 is the over under, at home. And again, Vegas can't make up their mind. They're going with the Texans who were riding, the hot week last week. And they're a 2.5 point favorite because the home thing. I'm going to go with Houston winning at home, but man, 2-8 versus 2-8. Like, does anybody care?
No, not really. That's pass. But I mean, yeah, if I got to pick one, I'm going to go with Houston as well.
All right, let's move on here. This is going to be a good game. Patriots at home. We've seen Mac Jones starting to step up. We've seen this offense do well. Stevenson at running back stepping up. There's been some good fantasy relevance, decent fantasy relevance out of the Patriots. Nothing exciting. And then we've got the Tennessee Titans, who are a disaster at running back, but the other guys have been stepping up. A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill trying to get it done. 8-3, Titans versus 7-4. Patriots, 44.5 is the over-under. I'm going Tennessee bouncing back here, even though they're on the road. I think they're the better team, but we're going to have to see. It's going to be interesting.
You know what? New England has not impressed me at all this year. Of course, they're an entirely different team nowadays. However, Mac Jones is getting it done. He's not impressive when he's getting it done, but he's getting it done. I'm going to give New England a slight edge here, but I think it's going to be a very close game, and I think it's going to be an awesome game. I think it's really going to be exciting.
Yeah, it comes down to coaching, right? Belichick, years of experience, and that's what comes into this. And he's coaching and grooming Mac Jones, and he's the little engine that could. He's getting it done, a young guy, just doing what he can, but he's relatively effective at 7-4, but nothing over the top exciting. I'm not seeing a Pat Mahomes or a future Tom Brady, but you never really know.
Yeah, nothing along the lines of a Herbert, anything like that. He's getting the job done.
All right, we got Tua Tagovailoa, and again, it's Tua. And here's the thing, right? We got Miami at home versus we're talking about Carolina here, Cam Newton versus Tua, and let's talk about the pronunciation here. They're calling Tonga Vailoa is how
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like a lot of announcers are saying tongue.
Yeah,
Tongue.
I guess that's how it's pronounced, but I don't agree with that at all. It's Tagovailoa.
Yeah. Well, how can you ever get an N sound in there? There's no N at all.
No, there's no tongue. It's Tagovailoa. Tago, like Tago, veil, like you got a veil, like a wedding veil, and Oa, like Balboa. All right, so Tagovailoa.
Hey, who knows better than Tua, though?
Yeah.
If he tells you how to say it, you friggin' say it that way.
Have you actually seen Tua's real name? It's like
no.
It's I don't even know, man. I don't even know how to spell it. Let me pull it up here. It's like you can't even pronounce it. Let me try to find it here. It's actually pretty funny. It's Tua Nigeria Mano Lapola. It's literally like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 words is his name.
Damn. 18 letters.
18 letters. Yeah. I don't even know what background that is, but that's unbelievable. And I thought his last name was hard. Try pronouncing his first name. But anyway, besides the fact Miami sucks this year, absolutely terrible. What are they? 4-7? Not terrible, but he's got to step up, and people are saying Tua turn the ball over.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Cam Newton, obviously trying to be Superman again. He's getting this resurgence of his career.
A little flash. Looked good.
To make a point, I'm going to say, I think Carolina wins this game. Not by much, but they're on the road. Cam Newton turns out has a big game. That's my prediction.
Oh yeah, I think it's Carolina easily, and CMC's back, right? So
yes,
how can you argue with that? It's going to be the CMC show. Now for Miami, I do like Waddle. Waddle's kind of looking pretty good to me lately. Like on a crap team, he's the standout.
Definitely, the talent is there, and definitely fantasy relevant for next year. But again, their quarterback situation has been up and down, and Tua's been in and out, and Tua's got to get into that groove and stick with it. All right. The main thing. Now, this is a game I'm excited. The AFC North. I'm a big Steelers fan. Najee. I love Najee. He's been consistent as they come.
You and I keep arguing about him.
Love him. He's the best.
You say he's a stud. He's amazing. And I say, yeah. In fact, I said here, solid RB2 numbers.
Where is he currently sitting right now overall?
I think he's like 6 or 7.
4 right now in PPR and fantasy numbers.
Yeah, you sure? I thought.
Yeah, 193 points. Followed by Swift Mixon. And believe it or not, this is crazy. Derrick Henry has played 8 games. He had 290. So Derrick Henry's been out for weeks, right? On IR. He's still leading in attempts at 219. And in fantasy points, he's currently sitting at 3rd. How wild is that? That's how good he was doing. He was on pace to absolutely destroy it this year. And he's just under 1,000 rushing yards. Derrick Henry, can you believe it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry's made me put my foot in my mouth many times about a guy who can't catch, so there's no arguing with him. What is surprising to me, like I haven't gone back and looked at the numbers yet, but I'm really not impressed with the running back core this year. Like right now, to have only 3 guys that are averaging 20 points a game or more sounds to me like it's horrible. Like I expect 8 to 10 running backs should be in the 20 points per average.
You're looking at it. Jonathan Taylor averaging 24 points a game. Jonathan Taylor 24 points a game. So yeah, it's Taylor and
Taylor, Eckler, Henry.
That's it. McCaffrey 20, Kamara. Najee's only averaging 19.3.
McCaffrey will bring it back. As long as he stays healthy for the rest of the year, he'll get up into that 20 easily.
Yeah, very lackluster in a lot of these running backs.
It seems like it to me. It seems like it's a really off year for running back.
It is. So again, focusing on this game though, it's like Bengals at home, 4.5 point favorite. They're 6-4 versus 5-4-1 Steelers. Again, if Big Ben's grooving, they're in that groove. I'm going Steelers here. Now their defense is super banged up with Watt being gone, and a lot of their defense is Hayden. It's been banged up. So their top guys have been banged up and out. I'm not sure who's coming back. Fitzpatrick, all these guys. I don't know if they're coming back, but with them being banged up, it's going to affect them, man. It's going to get opportunity for the run game. It's going to open up a lot of things for the pass game. So they got to keep putting those points up. As long as they can put the points up and keep up with the pace of the Bengals, we've got ourselves a win here. But that's the biggest factor.
Cincy can burn them, man.
Yeah.
Cincy can definitely win this game.
And to put it in perspective, Chase has looked phenomenal. So Ja'Marr Chase coming in the league, under the radar for a lot of people. And I had him as a sleeper, and he's been doing good. He's currently sitting 6th right now, Tim, amongst wide receivers in fantasy points, 867 yards, 8 touchdowns. Doing great, man. For a rookie, that's 181 points, 6th amongst wide receivers as a rookie. Very impressive.
Absolutely. Yep. Really outperforming.
Yeah, expectations for sure. This game is a divisional game. I'm going Eagles here. I hope they win. I really hope they. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go Steelers on that. Are you going Steelers or Bengals?
I'm going to give it to Cincy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like a little bit of opposition. We said Panthers should beat. Panthers should definitely beat the.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Eagles. Again, I've got a lot of Jalen Hurts sports cards. I'm fully invested in this guy, Tim, as a player, and he has been looking really good. I think they've won their past 2 games, 5-6 versus 3-7. Giants 3.5 point underdog at home. 46 is the over under. 3.5 point favorite Eagles. I'm going Eagles here. I think Jalen Hurts is in the groove. Him and Devontae Smith have been connecting. I think, Slay has been looking really good. I'm not sure if he's injured. I see him as questionable here as a defensive DB for the Eagles. He's been really turning it up. I think he's going to be good to go. And again, Barkley's been down, man. I mean, the Giants have been down. They're not looking good. 3-7. Yeah. Barkley's been hurt. Now he's back. Puts up 12 points on his return. And I'm going to go Eagles on this one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And do you realize that right now Hurts is the number 1 quarterback? He's better than Tom Brady right now.
Yeah, and I eat crow on that. And it's like, I knew he'd be good, but I wasn't going to draft him simply because when I look at a quarterback, I'm looking for consistent numbers. And he was ranked so high. I'm just like, I don't want to invest in a guy that I'm not sure about. I'd rather get and I got Herbert, and he's sitting 5th, and I'm okay with that, right? Herbert's my starter. And again, but Jalen Hurts absolutely doing amazing in fantasy, 248 points. Good on him, man. And I hope he does better.
I haven't looked at it, to be honest with you. However, he's got 618 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns.
He is actually currently sitting 2nd in rushing, which is amazing, right behind Lamar Jackson, right behind.
Okay, but I mean, even as far as running backs go, 618 is going to be ranked pretty damn high.
That's phenomenal. And again, the attempts, 114 attempts, more than Lamar Jackson. That's pretty phenomenal numbers, man.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now to see where he ranks. 618. If I'm seeing this correctly, he would be like 8th right now amongst running backs for yards.
Yeah, let me put up running back.
He'd be right behind Najee.
He'd be right behind Najee.
It's insane, but that's how he's doing it. He's getting it done with his legs.
So he's 8th in rushing yards amongst running backs, but he's a quarterback. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. I love, that's what I like to see, and more fantasy points on the board, of course. So I'm going Eagles here, and I'll be watching this because, again, I've got some stock in a lot of Jalen Hurts. I've got his cards. So I'm heavily invested in him as a player and as a talent. I hope they do well, and I hope actually Dallas loses, because then that'll bring the Eagles up in that division. So I'm excited to watch that game just for that reason. And I got Saquon Barkley as well. So, all right, this game, I want to sleep, man. I want to do the sleepy sound. I don't even have a sleepy sound effect here, but Matt Ryan 4-6 versus 2-8, just terrible teams, man. And Matt Ryan's been terrible. And the problem here with Tim was a lot of people had high expectations with Calvin Ridley being a 2nd-round pick. Even myself, I said that I didn't draft him because I was getting Najee in round 2, but Ridley was primed for a big season with Julio being gone. He was going to get the volume. He looked good. Then now he's got some mental problems that he's dealing with. He's taking some time off due to some, personal issues. And he screwed a lot of fantasy teams. And Atlanta's been hurting, man. They've been hurt.
Atlanta's been trashed the last couple of years. Like, these guys have amazing teams on paper, and they can't do squat. They're garbage. Kyle Pitts, highly touted as a top tight end coming in. Whatever.
He's done nothing. Nothing.
Nothing exciting. He's there. He's nothing special.
I mean, in his defense, you could say that Matt Ryan has been under a lot of pressure with the terrible O-line, and they don't have a top tier receiver, so you can imagine he's getting a lot of the coverage. But
you kind of know that before the season even starts, right? So still the expectations were really high for Pitts, and he's just not putting it out there.
And even Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's a first
Oh,
overall pick.
yes.
Him and Pitts. I mean, top 4 picks, both of them, right? I mean, just man, just very big letdowns.
Jacksonville is not an exciting team to me, no matter what. However, they're not using Robinson as much as they should.
No, they're not. But he's
like,
been safe.
Give him more.
I think he only had like 12 points. But yeah, when Robinson performs, they tend to do better. 2-8 versus 4-6. Atlanta. This is how, again, Vegas is so confused. It's like Atlanta is a half a point favorite here. This is literally a coin toss. That's how bad this team is.
And on paper, Atlanta is way, way better than a Jacksonville team.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. But yeah.
Again, you're almost tempted to take the home team with Jacksonville here, but I'm going to go with Atlanta. They're better record. Matt Ryan. I'm going to go with experience.
I kind of have to agree, but I want Jacksonville to win this game. I want Robinson to have a great game.
I got Patterson as well in the league. I ended up picking him off the waiver wire, I think week 2 or whenever he broke out. I was fortunate to get him. He's been pretty good to me aside from the weeks he was injured, but I think he should be back this week, so that's good.
Yeah, so I guess we're both going with Atlanta, but we're not excited about any of this.
No. Although I am excited about this one. I've got some Carson Wentz cards again, so I'm invested in
everything for you is about, I got this player's card.
That's it. That's all I care about is the pocketbook. So at home here, we've got, the Colts 3-point underdog at home coming off a big win last week, like we said, against Tampa Bay, who also won and that are 7-3. Brady on the road, 3-point favorite. But don't be surprised. I think it's Jonathan Taylor time, although he does have a very tough rush defense. So but again, he had it with Buffalo and he did well. So I'm excited to see more Taylor. Give me more Taylor here.
Yeah, I'm saying Taylor's on fire. I think he's going to keep that going a little bit here. And he doesn't just rely on the run either. So he can help out both ways. You know what else surprised me too? Fournette. Nobody talks about Fournette, and when you do, everybody says, shut up, get off his D. He's not amazing, but he's doing well. He's holding his own, man. He's at 15 points a game. He's doing pretty good.
I'm just going to pull something up here because, again, what happened with him is that he started getting going when they started benching Ronald Jones. So I'm looking at the attempts here for the season. Now, Ronald Jones only got 52 attempts on the season. Leonard Fournette, 122. That's the difference maker. He's getting a little more volume. Ronald Jones has got 2 rushing touchdowns, Fournette 2. So, yeah, he's got more volume. And once they feed him, he's going to do well. So keep the attempts up, and Uncle Lenny is going to have a good season.
I've always liked him as like an RB2 here. So RB2, RB3, you were picking up Fournette probably pretty late in your drafts. And if you grabbed him, good for you.
Yeah, he's sitting 12th right now amongst running backs. So that's not bad. Good for Uncle Lenny. Very, very impressive. So who's going to win this one? I'm going to go biasly the Colts here.
It's hard to go against Brady, man. He's just so damn good. I'm going to give an edge to the Colts.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the 4:00 games. Chargers versus Broncos, AFC West divisional game. Believe it or not, man, I can't believe this, but Denver is actually hanging in there somewhat at 5-5. And then the Chargers 6-4. Justin Herbert. I looked at some stat, and I got to pull this stat up here if I can take a second here. Apparently, he did really well the last time he played these two guys. This team. Let me just pull the stat up while you're. I got it here.
Los Angeles 600 years ago.
Yeah, Los Angeles Chargers. There's a stat. Los Angeles Chargers QB Justin Herbert is 50 for 76 for 531 yards. 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in 2 games against Denver. So he throws for quite a bit against Denver. It's an interesting stat I want to share.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's like any sport. There's some players that just seem to really have it in for a certain team. They've got their number for whatever reason, and they can put up huge numbers against them. So I love those kind of stats and just seeing where one specific player just dominates a team.
Yeah. I'm going to go Chargers to win this. Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert. Let's do it. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah. I mean, even Keenan Allen. Okay.
Yeah. And actually, I'm 3rd place in this big money league. 3rd place. I beat the 2nd place team. And again, I should be 1st place. I'm actually 2nd or 3rd in points. I had some rough losses early in the season. I should have a better record, but I'm 7-4. I've got Justin Herbert this week. And I'm very fortunate, Tim, because what ended up happening, believe it's a true story. I ended up winning last week. I still won by like 10 points. But like Herbert had a great week last week. I actually benched Herbert for Tannehill. Tannehill put up 16 points, and I would have lost my shit if I had lost the week because of that move. And then I don't know why. I should always start my better quarterback, but I just, Tannehill had a great matchup versus Houston. I'm like, I got to start Tannehill here. And, Herbert had a tougher matchup. And it turns out sometimes it's not always by matchup, right? So, and
That's
we
it,
learned
man.
that. I just went with the matchup that week, and, I ended up just being fortunate if I still won.
You know what though? You're talking like every single fantasy player out there. Oh, I benched the wrong guy. I looked
Yeah.
at the matchups. Everybody says it. Everybody does it at certain times. There's no guarantees in sports. There's no guarantees in any of this. So that's why you make the best informed decision you can. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
I don't think it was a bad decision because, again, if you look at, I was watching Red Zone, I was watching the Houston Tennessee game, and you can hear the announcers. This is the upset of the week. I can't believe Houston's losing, or Houston's winning. What's happening to Tennessee? Like, it was like everyone was shocked, man. Like, Tennessee fell apart.
Yeah, it happens. Buffalo
Yeah.
got creamed too. Like it happens, man.
Well, they're human too, right? They could have a bad week.
Yeah.
All right, Vikings. So I'm going to go Chargers. That's pretty easy. Vikings
Yeah.
versus San Fran, and Deebo Samuel's just been phenomenal this year in fantasy, and he's playing, should be good to go. They're a 3-point favorite at home. San Fran is versus Minnesota. Minnesota, I watched that game last week. They ended up pulling off a win, I don't know if you know how desperate they were, because they had to beat Green Bay. So they ended up beating Green Bay. It was very close. They beat them 34-31. They're going in here. They got some momentum versus San Fran, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, Jefferson looking phenomenal. I have to go here to cover the spread. I got to go Minnesota. Both 5-5. Take the points here, I would think.
Yeah. This should be a good game. I mean, let me just say this too. Jimmy G still ass. Always has been ass.
I'm not sold on him. I'm not sold.
He's been brutal for years, and everybody still keeps on talking about it. Well, he doesn't get much talk anymore, so he's still ass. Anyways, yes, Minnesota, of course.
I got to go Minnesota here. It'll be entertaining. 48 points to the over-under. Again, San Fran, I think home field advantage is the favorite, but it'll be entertaining. There's some good fantasy relevance here.
Yeah.
All right. 4:30 game. Again, another entertaining one. Rams coming off they're coming off a bye week, but the week before they ended up losing. I think it was to San Fran. And, they're 1-point underdog here versus Green Bay at home. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, they've been connecting. You're almost tempted to go Aaron Rodgers here, Lambeau Field, but the Rams coming off that bye week, tough loss. You're almost thinking that they're going to bounce back. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams put up an amazing fight. This is going to be, I think this could be the game of the week here.
This will be an exciting game. Yes, this one could go back and forth very easily. Aaron Jones being a little off this year, but he's still my guy there. I like him. I want to have another one.
He was out for 2 weeks. I think he's still banged up for this game, so Dylan could be there, but I don't know. I check the last minute news on this one.
Yeah, the last I saw, he's still questionable. So I mean, I like him. I want him to have a good finish to the year. Other than that, I mean, you got to look at your Cooper Kupps and your Adams. Of course.
Yeah.
But who do you have in this game? Ooh, that's a good one.
This one, who's going to win this one? And again, I just think the Rams are going to be angry.
I think you got to give the Lambeau Field home field advantage here. I think Green Bay's got to have it.
But Green Bay is angry too. They had a tough loss versus Minnesota last week. So I think they're both angry.
Yeah, I think it's got to be the Bay.
Yeah, some good divisional games here this week. Well, NFC, this is in the same division, but NFC West versus North. What I was looking at is this next divisional game here. And again, I'm going to go Rams here. Angry Rams to win that. This one's going to be a decent one. 8:20, Lamar Jackson versus Baker Mayfield, AFC North. This is the divisional game that could be exciting. I like divisional games, that rivalry, that battle. At home, 4-point favorite are the Baltimore Ravens, who are 7-3 versus 6-5. And I was reading somewhere, I think Kareem Hunt is back. He had the calf injury or whatever it was.
I think he's still on IR.
No, I think he's just comes off. He's coming back this week. I just read. Yeah, so I was reading from what's just a Cleveland fan page, and they're calling it the shunt. I don't want to say the word. CHUNT. The shunt is back.
Careful how you say it.
Yeah. The shunt is back. So Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are back, I think, together, the dynamic duo. And, they got the running game intact. Obviously Odell wasn't much of a factor anyway. Landry, I think he's good to go. I think it's gonna be a close one, man. But I got to give the edge to Lamar Jackson. He's just a better, superior player. Just a better
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. Once again, Cleveland had all the pieces to the puzzle there. They looked like a phenomenal team, offensive team, anyways, on paper, and they still couldn't do squat, and they still can't do squat. Without Chubb and Hunt, they're nothing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Lamar here to win this one. I'm sure you agree.
Yes. Yeah.
And the final one, Monday night. I don't care for this game at all, Tim, but Russell Wilson coming back off that injury looked terrible last week. Past couple weeks is just not looking good. Although it is a favorable matchup for the passing game here. Man, I got to go Seahawks to win this on the road. Again, 3-7 versus 4-6. Washington football team, Taylor Heineke. This is a disaster of a game.
Taylor's been doing all right, but you know what? My one note on this game is dog shit game.
Yeah.
This is your Monday nighter.
I don't know what NFL thinks when they start planning these games. I guess they assume that it's going to be a good.
Well, Russell at least, right? But
Yeah.
no, he hasn't been good this year even.
No, not at all. Big letdown, especially for fantasy. He's been super consistent in fantasy, but this year just a big letdown. Like I said, like the injury, we get it. People get injured, but even when you're coming back, just not performing anywhere near where he should be.
Yeah. No, numbers are way down. Not impressed at all this year. So that's why this is just a garbage game.
Big letdown.
Yeah.
So, Tim, I think we've covered it all, man. I mean, again, there's some exciting gems here. The Rams versus the Packers. I'll be watching the Colts and the Bucks. So there is a couple good games.
There's about 3 to 4 exciting games or potentially exciting games.
I think the Steelers and Bengals will be pretty good. Divisional game, some good, electric players.
Yeah, you think that just because of Najee.
I got a Najee crush. Well, Tim, I'm glad you're back. We'll get you on some more shows. Love to have you. And you got the creepy girl behind you still?
My baby's here.
All right, guys, make sure you go to manscaped.com. Use promo code Showerline. Christmas is around the corner. And Tim, I'm just going to give you some Manscaped stuff this year, I think.
Yeah, well, look at me. I've kind of let it all grow in. I'm really rough right now. I need some work, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Tim. Thanks, everybody. Happy Turkey Day. And if you're listening to this on the weekend, enjoy week 12. Tim, week 12 already. How fast?
Yes, sir. It's flying. And like I said, for the most part, running backs have been a huge letdown this year.
Just like that, man. All right, guys. We're out. Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Have a good one, everybody.
Take care.